19 years old, getting killed in Afghanistan and Iraq. And then when they come home to the U.S. soil, then when they walking down the street, they racially profile. Excuse me, simply because they're black male. Because that happened to my son.
And to encounter police brutality.
My son was in Seoul, South Korea for 2 years. For 2 years. And then when he came back from Korea, he was just walking down the street, and you know something? The police jumped out of the car on my son. They jumped out on him. But he come back to his own country, going to a foreign land to protect the United States interests. That's all it's really about, is to protect the United States interests. It's not about you. It's not about us. It's about protecting America interests for their own greed. Thank you.
Okay. Those who are telling people they have to accept the verdict are telling us to accept a modern day lynching, to accept the police gunning down of black and Latino youth, to accept the warehousing of 2.3 million people in the prisons. Their message is clear. The system can continually enforce oppressive and murderous relations on the people, but the people cannot stand up.
Isn't it true that sometimes it is so damn hard to get out of bed because you're so upset because your mother doesn't have health care, or your brother lost his job, or our brothers like Trayvon Martin are executed in the streets and their murderers get to go off free? Don't you sometimes just want to give up? Well, some people do, but I know that each one of you here is not one of those.
That's right.
And so what I want to say, sisters and brothers, is that they may have let Zimmerman walk, but this system is not gonna walk. This system is gonna come down because the workers and the people of this country are faced with some of the horrendous conditions that we have ever been faced with. If it's not killings of our sisters and brothers in the street by racist police or racist KKKs, it's the fact that we don't have jobs. It's the fact that we're not going to get health care. It's the fact that our sisters and brothers are being deported like dogs in the street every single day in this country. 1.5 million sisters and brothers have been deported from this country whose only crime was to come here to look for a job, whose only crime was to come here because this government has created conditions in Mexico and the Philippines and Haiti that force people to come here. And so we are angry, but we are committed to taking our anger to build a movement, to build people's assemblies, to build a righteous revolutionary struggle in this country, exactly like they are doing in Egypt, exactly like they are doing in Chile, exactly like they are doing in Mexico. The people of the world who suffer so much have decided, I'm not counting on the Democrats, I'm not counting on the Republicans, I'm not counting on the institutions, I'm counting on the people. And they are marching and organizing, and they are forming new ways of fighting back. And this is what we need. We need to go from here forward and form Trayvon Martin assemblies. We will never forget Trayvon Martin. From this day forward, build Trayvon Martin assemblies, take it to the streets, build a movement. We say no to this. Y todos somos Trayvon Martin.
Todos somos.
If there are any high school students, we want you to come forward. We want you to express the anger and frustration that you're feeling. We want to give everybody a chance to do that, especially high school students and young people. So if you're in high school or if you just graduated, come forward. Don't be afraid. Say whatever is on your heart. Speak your heart.
High school student, come forward. You have the mic.
For the first time in a few years, I actually thought maybe for the first time when one of us was shot down in the street for the only reason that they were a person of color, that we might have actually had a chance. But the fact is that there is never a chance, is there? The person before me the two people before me talking about the system, they're completely right. The fact is that there's never going to be a chance because of the ideology that's permeated by the media, by the government. There's never going to be a chance because of the fact that they don't want there to be a chance, and the people who matter have decided that there won't be a chance. At the same time as being mortified by this, I was also somewhat expecting it, because let's face it, there have been so many others before this, and they've all faded away. We can't let them fade away. So let Trayvon Martin live with us for a long time. Thank you.
I'm an 18-year-old college student. I just finished my freshman year of college. I'm about to be a sophomore. I was 17. I just turned 17 when this incident happened. And I went to a religious school where most of the people were conservative. Most of the people in my class did not care. They were all white. They simply did not care that someone had shot a person who was their age down in Florida. They just simply did not care. I went home from school the day that the incident happened. My parents did not care at all. I just sit there at the dining room table as we ate dinner, telling them about this thing that had happened in Florida. My parents did not care. Wow. If it had been me, do you think that George Zimmerman would have walked? No. Do you think that he'd be free right now? No. If I'd been lying on that ground, do you think that George Zimmerman would have been able to get out of jail without a problem? No. He would have been arrested right there on the spot. It's not fair. It's not right. I don't want kids my age to have to be afraid to walk on the streets, have to be afraid of the police. I would not be stopped and frisked. No. If you look at me, I'm white. I'm not going to be stopped and frisked by the police anytime soon. I'm not going to be arrested for drugs. I don't do drugs, but lots of black people don't do drugs either. There's no reason they should be stopped and frisked any more than I should be. It's not fair, it's not right, and I don't want to see it happen. I want to be a teacher when I'm older. I hope I can help educate a new generation to be a revolution and to be a better country. That's right.
But last night, I had knots in my stomach that one day that I'm going to have to tell my son, as a black and Latino child, that in a white racist world, that he is looked down beneath, lower than an animal. This scares me to death, and it should scare you too. All I gotta say is no justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
If you sit down with common sense and think about how in the world can someone who got out of a car and then followed you with a gun and you have Skittles and a Snapple tea, you are responsible for your own death. When have you ever heard of a mother, a grieving mother, sitting on a stand having to defend her child who died? Who died? She had to defend her own child. I give so much honor to Trayvon's parents. They have handled this with grace, with fortitude. What they have done is amazing. Miss Martin, do not hold your head down, girl. Do not. What you have done is amazing. You have organized. Look at these protests. Do not be ashamed. Zimmerman's defense lawyers are nothing right now. Are nothing. They're boycotting of Florida. NAACP is now trying to do a civil suit. There are people blacking out and not going to work tomorrow. This is an honor.
No justice. No peace. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.